All right, what's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. Let me just let the Discord know that I'm live. 1 second. All right. Okay, so what I will say, um, we are now officially at all-time highs in the market. You can see on QQQ, we did sweep that internal high, or the external high on the daily, sorry. And we are now officially at highs. QQQ as well, if you look at the QQQ chart, you can see that we have officially swept all the highs. So we are now trading at all-time highs in the market. What I will say about all-time highs is that you never, ever, ever want to be shorting. Never. Okay. Let me go back here, actually. Okay. So you never want to be looking for shorts at all-time highs. Normally what happens is you take a long and it ends up being a winner. Not always, but most of the time. So right now, for example, we've swept liquidity on the daily. We went back and swept all these daily levels. And now it's probably going to come back to the highs. Now, maybe they give it trouble. Maybe it's not so easy. But for example, if we get a manipulation like here and then another inversion, that's something that I would probably take. Wow, Tesla really selling off. Very interesting. Tesla was one of the ones I was expecting to have strength going into today. We're trading down into that hourly fair value gap that we formed after the huge pump from Robotaxi news. This could obviously be like a buy the rumor, sell the news type event, but what I think is probably happening here is we're just rebalancing a bunch of fair value gaps, and then we'll probably use that to go higher. So we have like these internal highs here that I think we'll hit, and then again that 373 level. I don't think this is a bad spot to start selling puts on Tesla. I'm gonna take a look at some premiums to see what I can get. But yeah, that's gonna be an amazing play in my view. Let me see what I see here. So there's a pretty nice looking 3 minute inversion on NQ right now. I actually think I'll probably try this if we get the closure above at 30, at 57. Now, just remember, guys, Powell is speaking today, so I would be very cautious about what trades you take. But that's definitely something that can cause a lot of tough price action today. Okay, so there's a potential inversion happening now. I don't think this is bad to try, and the target will be high of day and then higher. If we get the close above, obviously. I'll try it with one contract. We got 30 seconds till the close. Let's see if we get it. And waiting, waiting, waiting. All right, there's the close above. And my target is going to be high of day, probably higher. I'll give it like a few ticks higher than high of day. And then my stop loss is going to be a 3 minute close back below this. Let's see if we get it. So not quite a one for one, a little bit more than a one for one. Now, we did sweep this internal high and we traded into this 1 minute gap, but I'm basically giving this the benefit of the doubt because we're at all-time highs that we're going to come back and sweep high of day. In fact, I'm going to keep my TP right up here. Let's see if they make this easy for us. And again, one thing I will note to you guys again today is Powell speaking. So do not be surprised if we get very bad price action. I'm only trading on evals and fundeds today, no cash accounts. And on funded, I'm doing a lot lighter size than normal. But yeah, do not be surprised if this ends up failing. It's a Powell speaking day. There's no news. It's not an A+ day to trade, but it's something I'm willing to try with one contract, much smaller size than normal. And the stop loss on this would be a 3-minute close back below this fair value gap. So this is allowable. We're stabbing into the 3-minute. My hope is that it just continues and drives us back up to the high of day. And at least I got a decent entry. I was able to tag it when it pulled back, not when it was up here. But we'll see if it ends up holding. You also really want to see this 1-minute inversion close above, creating an order block here as well. If this high gets swept, guys, I will move my stop to break even. And again, the reason I took this trade is because we got a liquidity sweep on the day. We're at all-time highs. Most of the time, shorts fail and longs persevere. Now, it is a little bit suspect because today is Powell speaking, but nonetheless, I still think it's a decent trade. But again, if this high gets swept, this is going to be my stop to break even. So if that high gets swept, I will be locking in my trade and making it a free trade. And normally, guys, on a 3-minute inversion, I would keep my stop as a close below this. But because of the day, because of Powell speaking and all the nonsense that could happen, I'm keeping a hard stop. But normally, this would be a 3-minute closure below. So at 10:03, if we get a closure below this, then I would stop out the trade. But because of Powell testifying, I'm just keeping a hard stop. This wick could have been a stop out wick. I don't know, but just keeping a hard stop here. We also have, oh no, we don't, never mind. Forget what I just said. Okay, so we got 1 minute left till the candle closure. Let's see if we end up getting a 3-minute close below. All right, and there's a stop out on the trade. So likely will not be taking another trade today, again, because it's Powell speaking. I'll still call the market where I think it's going to go, but that obviously is not a good sign. I still think this is going to end up driving higher. I think what they're trying to do here is stopping out people with wicks to the downside, and then they'll bring it back up. But that's another reason why you don't take trades on a day that Powell is testifying, on a day there's no other news. This normally works up to the high of day, especially at all-time highs. But this could easily just be a fake out candle before they drive it higher later. And you can see that we did reject from this 1 minute fair value gap. So what you could have done is moved your stop to break even once we tagged into this. But I did not. Again, it was a small size trade. I said before this that it was Powell testifying, and that I'm doing only a one contract trade, only unfunded and evals and no cash. You can rewind the tape, but that's what I said. Wow, Tesla really selling off. So we're finally trading down into this hourly fair value gap. You really want to see price action move nicely from within this fair value gap. I don't want to see it start closing below and sweeping all these lows. I'd rather see this be the low to drive us higher. This is a spot, in my opinion, to be adding long-term positions, yes, but also short-dated calls and maybe selling puts against, not against, but selling puts to collect premium on Tesla. Okay. Okay, so this also looks pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. There's another 3 minute fair value gap here. If we can close above this, this would be a pretty nice long setup. So this candle closes at 06, so we got just under a minute. So let's see if we create a nice juicy fair value gap here. Let's see if ES made an SMT here. No SMT. So let's see here. No SMT just yet. Let's just wait and see what. So the higher up this goes, the less I like the fair value gap. So like this, I'm not a huge fan of. But I still think this is probably just a fake down move before going up to sweep high of day. If I had to guess. Again, I'm not in the business of guessing, but if I had to guess, that's what I think is probably happening here. So now the 3 minute fair value gap is really small. Technically, you could try this inversion play. I would not. It's smaller, but I still think it's going to work to the upside. Okay, Tesla now failing this hourly fair value gap. We really want to see that hold. If this ends up closing below, not a good sign for Tesla. Definitely not. At least for the short term. Guys, also make sure you like the stream if you're in here. It helps the algos. Okay, so rejection from that 3 minute gap. To me, this all just looks like fake down moves. Again, could I be wrong? We might be coming back to balance like the hourly, for example, here and then getting a long setup. It's definitely possible, but we will see. Is anyone going to try this 3-minute inversion if we get this? Let's see what kind of premiums we can get for selling some puts on Tesla. Let's check it out real quick. If you sell the, let's see, you can sell the 270 puts on Tesla right now for almost $300. You can sell the 275 puts a month out for $330. That's pretty darn good. Okay, so tapping into that 3-minute and rejecting. Let's see if we can get a move down into this hourly and then a move up. That would be another trade I'd consider taking, but again, only if it's A+. Especially now that we've taken a smaller sized loss, I would only take another trade if it's A+. Beauty Talks. Morning, sir. Looking handsome. Thank you very much. Beauty Talks. I hope that you're not a male, but even if you are, appreciate the kind words. Okay, so we're rejecting from that 3-minute. I think this is where we're going to test that hourly gap. And then from there, maybe we get a long setup. We'll see. I think I'm also going to be selling some puts on Tesla. I'll let you guys know which ones I end up selling. But for those of you guys who are in the community, you know that we sold puts on Amazon 2 days ago, and we locked it in. We locked in our profits yesterday, 50%, in just under a day. So that was pretty nice. Okay, and once we touch into this hourly, I think that's probably where we're going to get a long setup if we are. So I'm looking for something like this. If we can tap into it and then get some kind of an inversion, then that's what we're going to be using to target the high of day. So ideally, that's what we want. Okay, nice stab into there. Okay, beautiful. That's what we're looking for. Now, it was just a touch into it, but that's enough. But I'd rather see some kind of a setup here, but we'll see how this plays out. What's up, Kay? Good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning. Kay, what's the rule? I don't know if you were ever in my stream when we hit all-time highs in the market. Do you know the rule for trading all-time highs? What's the rule, Kay? That's right. We only look for longs at all-time highs. Only look for longs. We took one very small trade here on the 3-minute and it lost. This 3-minute inversion to the upside. I said it was I didn't say it was likely to fail, but I said that it was not a high probability setup because Powell was speaking. But we did take it anyways, small size, so that was one loss on the day today. But I'm looking for something after we tapped into this hourly fair value gap and sell side. So we tapped into it already. I know that you can't really see, but now you can. We tapped into it. So now I'd like to see a potential reversal, but I'd want to see some kind of a manipulation move and then the long setup. You took that too, but got out early. Okay. I told the stream that I was gonna move my stop to break even if we hit that high, and we never did. So I ended up taking a loss. I put a hard stop because I didn't want to wait for the 3-minute closure. Only because Powell was testifying. If Powell wasn't testifying today, then I would have kept the real stop, which would have been a 3-minute closure below. But it is what it is. Wow, Tesla down to 323, completely reversing the Robotaxi event highs. Yeah, Powell was speaking. If you look at the Forex Factory news, guys, we have Powell testifying today. Okay, so here's a down move that I like to see, ideally. And we'll wait to see what happens from here. But anywhere here is where I'd like to go long. Somewhere in this general area of price, but I'd need to see a really nice inversion for value gap. Maybe something like this. Again, we're tapping into the hourly now, so something within here, maybe the mean threshold of it. Which we already tapped into. $30 making a fair value gap? Yeah, possible for sure. I'm not really using the 30-second these days, but you could definitely use it if you want. It does look like a nice 30-second because we're basically creating a liquidity, basically a liquidity sweep or a manipulation leg after a liquidity sweep. So it's not half bad. Nice, Kay. Be careful though, because it is Powell talking, so with Powell speaking, a lot of the times we get a lot of manipulation, but today is definitely not a bad day to trade. Okay, so a perfect touch of that 50% of the hourly gap. I do like that. Maybe that's what ends up driving us higher here on the 2-minute and the 3-minute and the 1-minute. There's not really anything great, to be honest. Okay, so there is a 30-second fair value gap closure there. If you guys want to try this, you can. I am not, but up to you. Okay, so it looks like this 30-second might fail here. We'll see. It still hasn't closed back below, but it definitely could. There is a level right here that I'm paying attention to. This wick is a spot where there's a lot of liquidity resting. And the reason being there's a quarterly level on QQQ resting down here. So what I would really like to see is some kind of an inversion play after this wick is swept. Could it sweep? Yes. Does it have to sweep? Absolutely not. But it's definitely possible that that ends up being what drives us higher. Okay, so we're still holding that 30-second fair value gap to the upside. Okay, are you still in this trade right now? And we just formed a set of perfect equal highs here, it looks like. So in theory, this should drive us up here, but what I'd like to see is another manipulation like down, a closure below the 30-second, and then we get this trade later today. That would be awesome. But we will see. Looks like it's probably just going to sweep it now and then go higher, who knows, but if not, we'll look for a setup later. So if we can end up sweeping the low of day and then getting an inverse down here, so if we get something like this, this is going to be a really nice setup to target these equal highs. I hope that that happens. I'm praying, because there's not a setup to get to them here. Okay, beautiful so far. Let's see if we can get a push down into here and then the setup. Wow, that would be incredible if we could get that. But so far, the 30-second fair value gap is still holding here. So we'll see if it continues to hold or not. Okay, so sweep of the internal low here. Maybe that's what drives this. But again, I'd like to see something like this. If we can get this set up, that's where the equal highs are coming. Love, love, love to see that. Very strong wick there after that liquidity sweep. But again, no setup here. The 30-second did not hold, by the way. It closed below, and then now it's going back above. Could that be what ends up driving us up here? Sure, but we'll see. Junior Powell isn't giving much volatility. Not too much. But still, I still think it's a decent day to trade, just not on cash accounts. I'm only on fundeds and evals today. And you just want to be targeting really obvious draws on liquidity like perfect equal highs. But again, there's no setup here to get to these, so if it hits, it hits. I'm not going to cry about it. Junior, did you take any trades today, brother? Okay, so very close to those equal highs. I think this will probably do it on this leg. If this fails and we go back down here, then this setup should occur. But I think this is just going to drive here without giving a setup, unfortunately. But we'll see. Gold shorts. We can take a look at gold in a second. But very interesting price action on Tesla, I'm not going to lie. I guess it's expected, right? We got the Robotaxi event and a kind of sell the news event here. Buy the rumor, sell the news, but was not expecting a 5% down day after that. So we'll see what happens, but I think ultimately, again, I've been saying this time and time again, Tesla has this monthly fair value gap and a volume imbalance up here that needs to be filled. So any moves down here, I think, end up being fake, and then we end up going up to fill this in the volume imbalance. So we'll see what we get. Okay, no touch of the equal highs yet. A rejection right before them. MNQ was able to sweep them, by the way. Not sure why they did that, but it's kind of like an SMT. Or is it, what is it, GC? Wow, very interesting spot to be looking for shorts on gold. We had a major liquidity sweep to the downside. I personally would not be looking for gold shorts here. I mean, maybe on this retracement leg to rebalance price, but I personally wouldn't be looking at gold shorts. But it depends on your model, obviously. For my model, I wouldn't be. Okay, so a tag very close to the equal highs. Again, we never touched them. On MNQ, we did get the touch of them. But for example, if this ends up closing to the downside here, this is a decent short down to the low of day. And then if we do get another manipulation leg here, this is where I would look for a long on NQ. Definitely like the idea of a manipulation leg down and then a move higher later. So we'll see if we get that. What, Junior, what time frame are you shorting gold on? Is that a high time frame short or a low time frame short? Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. So this 1 minute fair value gap is still holding, by the way. If we close below this, I think this is going to happen. And then we'll get the equal high setup later with a better RR. Bitcoin at 107.5. Let's go. I am in a Riot position here. I know a lot of you guys already know this, but I think Riot has a lot of legs higher. If we are able to get a hold of this inversion right here, it's a weekly and a monthly fair value gap. If we can close above it, this closes on basically it starts in July, right? So we got just a few more days of June. If we can close up here, I think this is going to drive all the way up past all this low resistance liquidity and target this monthly inversion right here at 24.63. Okay, holding the 1 minute BPR to the downside, not great for shorts here, and then these equal highs should get swept now. All right, so there we are. I was hoping we'd form another set of equal highs there, but we didn't. And there's no good inversions here, really. Not even on the 5 minute. We have a tiny little 5 minute inversion there, but that is not something I would take to the upside. London today on the 5 minute. Oh, okay. 5 minute trade is totally fine. Okay, so no setup here, guys. I think this could be what pushes us higher here. If not, I hope we make another set of equal highs, and then we get a dump, and then we get the long later. But don't be surprised if we end up getting all-time highs again today. Never, ever, ever do I short when we're at all-time highs in the market. I never do it. I only look for longs. And the only long setup we really have here is this tiny 5 minute inversion fair value gap, which is just so small it's not worth taking. I hope that's one thing I'd like to drill into all of your heads. Is do not short the market when we're at all-time highs. Okay, if you don't know what all-time highs means, I feel bad for you, but if you don't, I'll still show you. We hit all-time highs on the Nasdaq in the futures market and on QQQ, the same thing. Never look for shorts, guys. Just wait for a long setup and it'll normally play out with a high degree of certainty. Whoops. Trying to get rid of as many lines as possible here so that people don't just get intimidated. I think a lot of people go onto my streams and they get intimidated because they see a bunch of boxes, a bunch of lines. Excuse me. So we're creating a bunch of LRLR to the downside. Like just, if you look at this, it's kind of like a trend line forming here. If we do end up getting miraculous sweep below and then the long, that'll be great. You're talking about the 3-minute FEG? Which 3-minute, K? There's a tiny 5-minute right here. Very small, but there's no 3-minute that I can see here. There's a little one right there, but not even a huge fan of that either. But yeah, unfortunately, guys, again, it's Powell speaking. No A+ setup here at all. There was supposed to be a BPR that was going to fail and go to the downside. That was what I was hoping for, but we never got it. Now we touched into this little 1-minute fair value gap. We're rejecting. Oh, do we have another set of equal highs here, guys? Oh my goodness, I didn't even see this. We have another set of perfect equal highs on NQ. All right, I'd love to see that. So this is another potential opportunity here. If we get some kind of a down move, then we have another set of perfect equal highs that we could easily hit. That would be dope. So these formed at what time? At 10:08. Let me see where that is. Okay, so MNQ chart behaving pretty differently to NQ. MNQ structure looks similar, but a little bit different. Just the way the candlesticks are printing. It's not exactly correlated, but that's fine. But I think this is probably going to end up hitting on NQ. Again, we need a setup to take it, but hopefully we get this. If we get this down move, manipulate below all these lows, and then a long setup later in the day, that would be awesome. So if we get like a big down move before this macro time at 10:50, and then we get the long, that would be awesome. But right now, taking anything in this leg of price is just gambling, in my opinion. Yes, this can easily just consolidate like this and slowly go higher, then tap this and go higher on the day. I've seen it happen before, but I've also seen this completely fail. Especially with Powell speaking, you have no idea which one is going to happen. Okay, I want to see big red candles here. I'd love to see that. If we can finally get one more down move to stop everybody out who's long and then get an inversion, that will be A+, in my view. So let's get everybody stopped out below this low, and then let's get along. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? This also looks like a bear flag. Again, I'm not trusting any bearish patterns on the day. Never, never, never. Not at all-time highs, especially the day after all-time highs. You never want to trust bearish patterns. But if it does end up delivering, I'll be totally happy, and then we'll look for that inversion play. With Powell's low probability, I feel market's low probability. I might just call it here. Junior, if you do that, I think that that's a very smart move. I'm here on YouTube because it's just not an A+ data trade. We already took one small loss, and that's it. Again, I'm not trading on cash. I'm only trading on evals and fundeds today because of Powell speaking with no other red folder news. But if my setup plays out and we get something like this, I will still look for a long. So let's see. We'll be patient and wait and see. Uh-oh. Anyone who's using that bear flag is probably getting smoked here, and the equal highs are probably next. Okay, so we're wicking out of there. Again, I would not be surprised if these equal highs get hit. But is there a setup here? No, there's nothing. The only setup you have here is this little 1 minute fair value gap. Is this an A+ setup? No. Is it going to work today? Maybe. But this is not A+ whatsoever. We do have, again, a tiny 5 minute that we did close above and created this like 5 minute order block. Could that be what drives us higher? Sure. But I'm not interested in this, guys. The two things you should learn from today. Number one, never take shorts at all-time highs. Number two, be disciplined when there is no red folder news apart from Powell testifying. Anything can happen on these types of days. So either you size down heavily or you wait for an A+ setup and still size down. So again, I'm praying. I'd love to see. Right now, we're getting all this chop when Powell talks. What I'm guessing is going to happen here is one of two things. There's going to be a big spike to the upside or downside when Powell says something, but really it's just algorithmic. And then we'll get a very clean move back up to these equal highs if it ends up being to the downside, which I hope it does. Has anyone else taken a trade today? I think it was Junior that took a trade. Kay, have you taken a trade? Beauty Talks. Okay, another 1 minute closure above here. Order block on the 1. We have an order block on the 5. Could be an easy, clean delivery up here. And nothing yet. So this is my prayer, okay? My prayer is that we come super close to the equal highs and we just reject massively and then get a setup later. If this happens and this ends up being the high, oh my God, that would be beautiful. Doubtful, but if it happens, I'll be so happy. Okay, so we came super close. I'm praying that it doesn't hit. All right, there it is. So the equal highs got swept now. I mean, if we go back to all-time highs, that would be great too. We have another buy side here and here, but unfortunately there was no setup that formed here. There was, again, that tiny 5 minute inversion. is that something that I would ever take? No, but it did end up working. So congrats to anyone who was in that. And you should be partialed, and at least if you want to hold a runner, you could be holding runners higher. Okay, pretty big rejection there. We'll see what happens when we tap into this fair value gap here. But again, I am not looking for shorts. Only A plus longs. That's it. Okay, so there's the equal highs, and again, I'm expecting this to hold. If it doesn't and this fails and we get this inversion play, maybe we get another setup later in the day. But I would definitely not be taking short setups today, even if they end up working. So in theory, if you are looking for shorts, there's low resistance liquidity here, and there was a 1 minute inversion. In theory, this should drive us down to this low, and this low. But again, it's all-time highs. I'm not looking for shorts. We can try this little 1 minute fair value gap to the upside if you guys want, but smaller size for sure because of the nature of the day. What do you guys think? Should we try this 1 minute fair value gap? Stop to break even at this high and we'll hold all the way to high of day. Who likes this trade? Within a macro time? Maybe a sweep. Normally, if I saw this on any other day, this would be screaming downside to me. And I would look for all this to get swept. But at all-time highs, I think every 1 minute fair value gap or even 3 minute that you take will probably be a winner. Again, I took a small loser here. But I'm willing to try this again with small size. I'd love to see all this liquidity get swept. If it does, then we'll probably see an even better high probability setup down here. But I think this is fine to take with your stop to break even here. I would size down for sure. Definitely size down on this. But it's definitely something that is decent. Where's my stop to break even? But yeah, now that we got this sweep, that makes it even better. If we can sweep all of this and maybe tap into this wick that I talked about earlier, right here. If we can tap into this and then get a long, that would be awesome. We have another potential 1 minute forming here. Another decent setup if it holds. Oops. But so far, no fair value gap being created. At least if it does create one, it's going to be small. Still okay, though. And then with this trade, though, I would move my stop to break even at this high. If we close above this here, for example, and then trade up to this, I would move my stop to break even there. So we keep tapping into this, making it smaller. Less and less probable. Wow, did we miss this by a tick? Is there an SMT with ES here? There is an SMT with ES. Ugh, but this is so small. Yeah, I'm not going to take this 1 minute, guys. It's way too small for me. But if this ends up closing above afterwards, I'll take it. I'd rather see this low get swept and then a touch into this line right here, which is that low on that formed in the... It was before the London session. Or I mean after the London session, but I'd like to see that get touched into and then a real long setup. That would be what I would go a little heavier on. Okay, so rejecting from the 1. I'd, again, love to see this. If this happens, that'll be so optimal. Something like this. And then we'll target this high and then high of day. Wow, that'd be such a good RR trade too. Raji, what's up, brother? Where in India are you from? Okay, so it looks like you're going to get a close above. Rajasthan. So, speaking of India, I don't mean to be mean here, but we just had that Boeing plane crash in India. RIP to everybody on board. There was one survivor. I don't know if you guys heard about this guy sitting on a seat 11A. Did you guys hear about that? We're talking about Boeing news because we were in Boeing pretty heavily. Ahmedabad. Is that near Rajasthan? I have no idea where that is, but okay, no equal highs formed there. No, he was faking it? No way, Kay. He wasn't on the plane? They claimed he was on seat 11A, but it sounds pretty wild that he was able to walk out of there. Okay, so it looks like a potential failure. Charlie, good morning, sir. Good to see you in here, Charlie. We missed you. Charlie, we took a really nice, I don't know if you saw in the Discord, but 2 days ago I called, here, I'll even show you guys. Under the options plays, we sold the July 18th 202 puts on Amazon for $345 per contract on the 23rd. Yesterday, so 1 day later, I ended up selling this for 50%. I had a limit order, but I posted in the community that we bought it back for 47% profits in 1 day. That was really nice. Nope, I seen a video where he was going inside the plane after the crash to save his brother. Oh, so he wasn't in the plane, it wasn't in the plane crash. I see. And did you sell any puts recently, Charlie? A lot of nice premiums to be collected, and I'm actually thinking about selling some puts today on Tesla. You can see Tesla's down 4%. I think this is just creating a monthly order block here. Everything you see, like on the hourly, this whole reversal of the robotaxi news, buy the rumor, sell the news event, sure. But I think any moves down on Tesla are going to be bought back up, and we're going to fill this monthly fair value gap and this volume imbalance at minimum. So I think Tesla targets are going to be 370 and 386, 390. And then if we're able to inverse this on a monthly, get ready for all-time highs. This is going to push all the way up to the 500s, probably the 600s in the next year, in my opinion. Maybe longer, but... Oh, he was in the plane, somehow survived, but ran back to save his brother. That's wild. Okay, so we did create an inversion here. Close below it, then close back above it. I don't like this price action. When you look at inversion fair value gaps, you don't want to see this. But because it's Powell speaking today, I'm not surprised. I think this is going to come up now and tap into this volume imbalance and this 1 minute fair value gap, and then probably go higher. So not financial advice, but this is very likely to tap into here. And then if we inverse it, we're going back up to this high and this high, in my view. Charlie said, yes, I have on A. PLD was assigned the stock, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want it, then you should only be selling puts. And I know Charlie knows this, but for people that are new to selling options, you should only be selling puts on companies you want to own for the long term, or on companies that you think are going to have upside potential and are very beaten down. Mitra, appreciate the financial advice. Roji, which fund do you use? Right now I'm on Top Step. So I have 200K and 250K and 300K accounts on Apex, but the only funded account that I'm using right now is Top Step. I have a couple of funded accounts with them. This one is very mid. We're only up $500, but it's on a 50K account, $600. I took one scalp today on this funded, and then on eval I had a fail, a 3-minute inversion right here that failed. But yeah, so right now Top Step X is my main funded account that I'm trying to build up. I want to take my 50Ks up, and eventually I want to be trading with size on them, but I want to really build up the account so that I have a big cushion. We'll see if it goes the wrong way. Yeah, it looks like it's going the wrong way. Again, this is the setup I'm looking for. If you want to do a 1-for-1 scalp here, again, you probably would have gotten stopped down on it already, but I'm looking for this setup. That would be optimal for me. But yeah, right now you can sell the 275 puts on Tesla expiring in 20 days for almost $400. That's pretty good if you ask me. I do want to take a look at Amazon here. If we got a pullback on Amazon, I might sell another round of puts. 0.39. So with Amazon, the thesis behind selling puts here is that we're going to fill this weekly imbalance at 219.97. If we can get a trade back down into this gap here, so I'm going to set an alert on Amazon when we get to this 198 level. If we can fill this gap before tapping into this, this is going to be a place where I'm going to add for a swing trade. But if not, and we just kind of chop here, I'm going to start selling more rounds of puts to target this 219 level. Uh-oh, guys. I think I'm going to be losing out on a lot of money here. Maitra's going to sue me for my whole net worth because he took this as financial advice. Does earnings calendar really affect this? Earnings calendar affect what, Raj? Or I think it's Raj. Raji. This is financial advice, oh boy. Apologize to anyone who took this as financial advice. I believe I even said not financial advice, but Maitra has a very interesting ear and a very interesting brain. And yeah, YouTube is legally binding, guys. That's it. It's been nice knowing you. I think I might have to quit YouTube, guys, and save up funds for Maitra's lawsuit. You've seen my chess openings, I think, differently. Yeah, I was very confused with that chess opening. I wasn't sure if that was a real... For those of you guys who didn't know, I played Maitra live on YouTube yesterday. We played a 10-minute... I don't know what it's called, a blitz match? It's 10-minute blitz? Or rapid? I don't know. But he opened with some crazy move that I've never seen. And it was actually decent. He was doing well, and then I think he just made one blunder, and then I cooked him. But I think on the next day, the next game we play, he'll probably beat me. Because he's a higher rating than I am. And if anyone plays chess on here, let me know. I'll add you as a friend and we can play. Okay, so what I was expecting to happen looks like it's going to play out. I'm looking at this wick right here. There is a lot of liquidity resting below this wick. It's also a quarterly high on QQQ. If we can get here, I think this is going to be a decent spot to go long. Looks like we're forming some inversion gaps here. So like these two sets of 2-minute closures. I think this will end up being the setup that actually plays out today. Stop loss is going to be rather large, but we're still getting a 3.1 and a 3 for 1 RR trade if we... Sorry, never mind. We're getting a 1.8 and a 2.4 if this ends up working out. We're also getting a potential 5-minute inversion here, which I really like. MT, maybe we'll play again if he wants to get checkmated. Yeah, maybe we'll play again if we start getting bad price action. But for now, I still like longs. But I want to see how this 5-minute plays out. We have another 5 minutes till this candle closure. So what I'd like to see is this tap up into here, and then maybe form the 5-minute fair value gap, come down, and then we get the long later. Praying for that to happen, but we'll see. So if this holds like this for the next 10 minutes or 5 minutes and we get a sweep of this low and then we get the long, that would be beautiful. Okay, so somewhere here I'd like to see the long setup form. Be super careful. And again, we also have this 1-minute fair value gap that's untouched up here. Is there a 2-minute as well? Nah. But hopefully we get a sweep of this and then a long setup, and then that will be our stop to break even, and then we'll hold this up to these internal highs, and then hopefully high of day. We got 3 minutes until the 5-minute inversion is created. If this holds this level, I'd be very grateful, and then this would be our long setup. Hopefully we'd like trade up somewhere here. Stop loss would be a 5-minute closure back below, and then we'd use that to go higher. Again, the number one rule I want to teach you guys for today is do not look for shorts. Even if they work, I'm telling you right now, if you just focus on long setups when we are at all-time highs, you will make so much more money. Trust. Okay, 2 more minutes till the 5-minute candle creates the inversion. I want to see this hold. I don't want to see us start pumping here. Not yet. Minute and a half until this creates. Okay, less than a minute left. So if we do get a sweep of this or even come close to it and then get a reversal on the day, this will be your long setup. The 5-minute inversion. This is the only trade I would even suggest considering today. And yeah, just go from there. And if this fails, it's because the market makers are watching my stream, okay? One thing you guys should know about me is that I don't lose trades. The only reason I lose trades is because the market makers are watching my stream of how many people? 10 people right now. And they know that I'm just so profitable that they're watching my stream and they're taking they're making the market do the opposite of what I say. So I can't lose a trade, okay? Hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's see if we can get that closure above on the 5. This will be the one trade of the day for me. I want to see a big move back up here, like a big 5-minute candle that just completely reverses all the downside move. If we don't get it, I don't take a trade. Right, Charlie? Okay, so we came close to this low. Again, a lot of liquidity is resting in this just general pocket of price. And it's a quarterly level on QQQ. That's why I believe that there's a potential for the market to reverse somewhere here. Okay, perfect that the 5-minute has been created now. If we get a nice big green candle here, this is going to be my long setup. Dun, 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 dun. And you guys see how I'm not trying to I'm trying to predict where the market's going to go, and I have an idea of where I think the market's going to reverse, but I'm not just clicking the button here because I think the market's going to reverse, okay? I'm only going to do it if I get confirmation of everything I'm saying working. So I know there's liquidity resting here. I've seen it happen where we sweep this wick, where we don't sweep the wick. Sometimes it does it before, sometimes it does it after. But I only execute on the trade if there's confirmation. In this case, this is the inversion I'm looking for, and I don't take the trade unless we close above it. Hell yeah, Mitra. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, that's the number one thing, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be here for every single trade you're going to take, and eventually you guys want to be able to take trades on your own. So having discipline and instilling that into your mind is, in the end, is going to be what makes you profitable, not watching me trade. Because who knows, maybe there'll be a day where I decide I don't want to live stream anymore. Maybe I'm on vacation and retired with a boatload of money, and you guys aren't. Or maybe you are, but you're not and you want to be. And you need to be able to have the discipline and knowledge to take your own trades. So that's the number one goal is if I can teach you discipline, that's the number one thing I could do. Okay, so coming close to the wick. Let's see if we end up touching it and then reversing. That's my hope here. Yeah, that's the goal, Mitra. I'm ready for you. We could have a live stream competition, a day trading live stream competition where Mitra beats me. 5 years down the road. Let's see if we can make it happen. Or if Mitra's really a baller, it'll be 1 year from now, or maybe even 6 months from now. Also, guys, okay, there's 10 people watching this on all streams and 7 likes. Not too bad. Could be better, could be worse. Okay, so somewhere here, we just tipped, we ticked that wick that I talked about earlier. I'd love to see the market pump here. Unless it does, I'm not executing on a trade. But this is exactly what I look for. If I'm looking for a long, I want to see a liquidity sweep, inversion. And this is not going to be a stop to break even anymore. It's going to be a take profit. And then this is going to be my second take profit. And then if we're lucky and we still have runners, whoops, then we'll use that as our third TP to go for high of day. Again, if and only if we get the setup. If you guys want to try on the 1 minute right now, there is a tiny inversion here. Not A+, I'd rather wait for the 5 minute, but if you guys want to try this early for a lower risk, it's lower stop loss, so less money will be risked, but it is higher risk of a trade because this is the primary PD array that's holding down price right now. Harshpreet. What's up, Harshpreet? Okay, so in theory, if you want to try this, this is higher risk. I'm not taking this, but you can and move your stop to break even when we hit the 5 minute inversion. Maybe we try that. What do you guys think? Should I try it smaller size? It's not terrible. We got a liquidity sweep. We got a manipulation leg. Yes, we are trading inversion for value gaps and liquidity. All right, Charlie, have a good one, brother. We'll catch you soon. What do you guys think? Should we try this inversion with smaller size? Definitely higher risk, guys. But if you take this, your stop to break even needs to be at this internal high where the 5 minute fair value gap rests. All right, I'll try this with smaller size. Let's see if we even get an entry on it. It looks pretty decent to me. And this would be a decent scalp trade too to target this 5 minute inversion. But we need to see a closure above on the 1 minute. All right, I'll try it with smaller size. I'm in this on the funded too. So we're going to scalp this to this 5 minute. And then if the 5 minute closes above, then we'll take another long setup to target all these. If this fails, it's fine. But it's a 1 minute closure back below. That's going to be the stop loss. And I'm literally just going to have my finger on the button here. Again, definitely high risk. But we did get a liquidity sweep and a 1 minute inversion here. I'm going to scalp this up to this high right here, the 5 minute. If I'm lucky enough to get it. But if we get a closure below on the 1 minute, I'm exiting the trade. Okay, less than 30 seconds till the closure. Again, the reason that this is not A+ is because the main PD array above us that's holding down price is right here. And I'm out of this trade, guys. That was a 1 minute closure below. So the only other trade I'm going to be taking here is this 5 minute fair value gap. Could they be doing the thing where they close it below the 1 minute and then they bring it right back above? Sure. But Powell is testifying today. There's no red folder news. This is not something I would want to take with full size. Absolutely not. Hashbreed, do you trade gold? Not really. I don't really like the way the gold moves. Not a huge fan. So if they do the thing where they close it back below the 1 minute and then bring it right back up, it is what it is. I'm waiting for the 5 minute inversion to happen. That will be A+, in my view. Don't know, but everyone in India loves to trade it. Yeah, I don't know why people are obsessed with trading gold. I know there's a lot of accounts that do, but I find that NQ price action is much better than gold price action. So it looks like they're doing the thing where they close it below the inversion, then they bring it back and create an order block, but we'll see what happens here. We do also have another level right here. Let me see, where is it? This candle right here is another important level, but we'll see what happens here. If you switch to bars, you'd see the 117 bearish fair value gap. If I switch to bars, or sorry, 1117. This, I mean, I don't know how to, this is open and close, right? So there's no wicks here. These are not fair value gaps to me. A fair value gap is a gap between candles. So no, I hate bars. I don't like that. But up to you. I have a problem. I cannot stick to one strategy. Well, that, Harshpreet, is something that you are creating in your mind. You can, you just choose not to. That's your issue. If you guys say that you can't do something, there has to be a physical reason why you can't. You're basically making a choice in your brain to not be disciplined. And that is something I cannot help you with. That is something you have to change in your mind. But the only strategy that I really trade is the inversion fair value gap. Very, very rarely I do trade order blocks, but it normally is paired with a fair value gap, and it has to be paired with a liquidity sweep. How's the weather in LA? It's pretty hot here. Pretty darn hot for sure. How's the weather in India? That's my question. I want to know how the weather is in where is it? What did he say? Rajasthan. Rajasthan. How's the weather in Rajasthan? So I'm constantly looking for something like this, guys. Always looking for like a manipulation candle, and then that's where you induce traders short, and then they go long afterwards. Love to see that. FEGs are when the market creates a fast change in price, which needs to be rebalanced. So 1117, it sweeps the liquidity of 1116 and gaps down. A fair value gap with candlesticks is, yes, a down move or an up move that creates an imbalance. Here, it's two wicks that there's no price action in. So this is an imbalance. But the only reason I think this failed was because it's Powell testifying today, and that's pretty much it. But you can see a lot of trendline liquidity being formed here. Eventually, this is just going to pump through it, and we're going to come back and rebalance this 5, in which case I'll look for a long setup. Very hot in India. I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen videos in India of people walking, and their sandals, like, the plastic melts to the road. Look what they do. What happens to my drawings when I switch time frames and come back? Destroys them. Yeah, this is the PD array I'm looking for right here. If we get a big pump through this low resistance liquidity and a trade into this 5-minute inversion, that's going to be the setup that I look to take. Set it time and time again. We do have a macro time at 11:50, which it's going to be some time until this hits, right? It's only 23, so we got about 25 minutes, but if we end up getting a big push here, that would be awesome. We will see. There's going to be a candle that pumps through all this and taps into here, in which case we're going to get a long setup. In my opinion, the best strategy is liquidity plus inversion fair value gap. Of all the models I've ever traded, this is the best model I've ever tried. It's the model that made me profitable. It's the model that I've been trading for years now. But I've just said this many times on my streams. It took me almost 2.5 years to be profitable. And I've always been profitable through swing trading and long-term investing. So that obviously saved my accounts. But I've said this so many times, but what I would change about my trading is I would not trade with real money for the first few years of trading. I would trade with prop firms so that at least you prove to yourself you can make money before you lose all your hard-earned cash. Okay, so here's a nice pump. Now we should trade up into this 5-minute inversion. That's my guess here. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I would trade with prop firms if I could. If they're allowed in your country, wherever you're trading. I'm sure they are for most people. And I would practice one strategy. In my opinion, inversion gaps are the best one. So in this case, I'm looking for this 5-minute inversion. I'll enter the trade here. Stop to break even will probably come at this internal high right here. So we'll label that stop to break even. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So I think this is going to come up and tap this high now. Unless this is a liquidity sweep above these highs, but we'll see. Again, we already tried one inversion here and it failed, so. If you guys really want to try a scalp here, this should probably, it will very likely go up to this 5-minute gap. But I'm not going to be front running this, but if you want to, you can. Totally up to you what you do with your money. Maitra's front running? Of course. Guys, not financial advice. Not financial advice. Zero financial advice is spoken on this chat. Bro, Maitra cracks me up. Okay, so this wick you see here on the 1 minute is the start of that 5-minute fair value gap. So do you guys understand the logic behind why I think the market's going to hit here? We like to move from liquidity to imbalances. So very likely we're going to come up to at least touch into this fair value gap, which is a low of 22,475. But again, Powell testifying today means that the market is not going to behave A+. Who knows? We could come back and sweep more liquidity before doing it. I don't know. But my only trade of the day will be this 5-minute inversion if I'm lucky enough to get it. How these candles are moving faster, is that a premium feature? No, I don't think so. This is just regular TradingView. Well, I pay for TradingView, but I don't think there's a feature where you can change the speed of the candles on TradingView. I know on Top Step you can, but I don't know about TradingView. Okay, so we're trading back into this 1 minute imbalance. Not liking these candles here. Tells me we're probably going to come back and sweep these lows, but who knows. Again, I'm trying to predict where the market's going to go, but I'm not executing until my model presents itself. Again, I used to be the trader that tries to front run this stuff, and I ended up losing money. So stop doing it, and I wait for my confirmation. In India, there's a problem, I guess. We have to watch the charts on XNES. Do you guys have prop firms in India? Harshpreet, can you trade, for example, Top Step? I don't know if you're allowed to trade Top Step in India. Or Apex or My Funded Futures, any of those prop firms? Funding pips. That's like one of the OGs. Try and see if you can use Top Step X. Top Step X actually has a feature in their settings where you can change the speed of the candles. That might be something to look into. You can use Simple FX for 500x unregulated futures trading. 500x, huh? That sounds real fun. Guys, make sure you like the stream if you're in here. There's like 20 people watching this on different platforms, and there's only 7 likes. Come on, y'all. Gotta boost the algos. Oh, okay, so not a good sign that we're completely reversing the move that was made here after sweeping liquidity. We have to wait for something A+ to execute. Please, guys, be smart. Alright, so there's a potential manipulation candle. Let's see if we end up getting a long setup after this gets swept. Or after this low gets swept, I mean. Yeah, very nice drop there. Hopefully this is what ends up being the inversion to take us long. Let's look at the 2 minute, 3 minute. Ooh, this 3 minute looks real nice. If we can hold this 3 minute, that looks really good for a long too. So I think I'll try this, guys, if we get it. So if we hold the 3 minute inversion here and then get a closure above, that will be a nice long setup. That looks real nice to me. Yeah, basically, I figured that if I'm going to be trading, I might as well do it live. A, to help educate people, and B, as another income stream. Never hurts. But I've been very transparent with you guys on YouTube. 20% of my income from the markets comes from day trading. Most of it comes from swing trading, long-term investing, and option selling. And if you guys want to be part of the community where I call all that stuff, like for example, on Amazon yesterday, we closed some sold puts on Amazon for 50% profit in a day. I think honestly, option selling is one of the best ways to make monthly income in the markets, but it does require a lot of capital. But all my swing trades, all my option selling, everything is called in the Discord. So if you guys want access to that, we are running a free 3-day trial. There's a link in the chat, but you do not need any communities to make money. All you need is your own knowledge, education, and time. That's all that you need. Do I ever use a 6-minute time frame? No. I heard the 6-minute is way better than the 5-minute though. That's what a lot of people have been telling me. Like this one guy named Maitra, level 1,000 elo in chess. He's been telling me that a lot. And yeah, I'm thinking about switching my whole day trading model just to ensure that I can execute on the 6-minute. Because like, why would I follow a profitable trading model when I can just switch to something that somebody told me in the chat on YouTube? Like, it just sounds like, logically, it sounds like it makes sense to do, right? Because I enjoy drama, I enjoy, working hard to make money and then completely switching up my model. I know, bro. Who would follow a profitable 5-minute model? Dummies. That's it. Really dummies. Okay, so a pretty nice looking 1-minute inversion here. But we do have another 1-minute leg of price. But really, what I'm liking here is a 3-minute. So if we get a 3-minute closure above here, this is something I'll execute on. And then we'll target. This is going to be our stop to break even, the 5-minute fair value gap right here. So I'm going to change the stop to break even to right here. And then we will hold for these highs above us. So now we'll be patient and wait for the 3-minute. We've got 3 minutes till the closure. So let's see if we get it. Da 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 da. No, 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 no. So a lot of people are getting induced short here, in my opinion. So I'm thinking this is what's going to drive us up to this 5-minute gap now. See if I'm right or wrong. This to me is that manipulation candle we've been waiting for all morning. Oh, the bars have informed you it's going down? Oh boy. Okay, so 3-minute candle should be closing relatively soon. We got less than basically a minute now until the closure. We'll see what happens. Can I see buying at 22284? 22284. 84. 84 is way higher, guys. What are you talking about? NQ is not near 228. Oh, 22284. Even that's way lower than where we are now. I don't know what you guys are looking at. Okay, we got 1 minute till this candle closure. Let's see if we get the 3-minute close above. Okay, so no close above on the 3 minute here. Love to see this close above though. If it does, that's going to be a nice trade in my opinion. The 15 minute. 222. I mean, I'm not looking all the way down at 222. That's hundreds of points below us. There's no way I'm going to be looking for that. But yeah, on the 50-minute chart, this does not look bullish whatsoever. But I still think we'll probably end up getting an inversion. Only if we get it am I executing, though, obviously. Excuse the barking. Okay, no trade until we get the inversion above. Hope that makes sense, y'all. No. It's too many schnauzers. They're a lot more deadly than coyotes. Okay. Do you trade crypto? No, I only buy Bitcoin. The only thing I ever touch is Bitcoin, and that's it. And it's a long-term investment. The last time we added Bitcoin was in the low 50s and the high 40s. And if you guys are in my Discord, you can go back and check that. A lot of people don't believe me. Like one time I said on X and on a YouTube live stream that I only bought Bitcoin at 7 or 18 something and 50, 51 and 49. He's like, no way. There's no way you did that. So I had to pull up the receipts. Is option buying profitable? For most people, no. Day trading is normally not profitable for people. So now you're adding another factor into your day trading, which is time decay. So it's like 95% of people do not make money day trading. 99.5% don't make money if they're buying naked calls and puts, unless they're like super far dated, like leaps, which is not really day trading. It's more swing trading. But yeah, I think it's for most people that's a scam. Thanks, buddy, for suggestions. Of course, the best prop firms, in my opinion, are Apex and TopStep X and TopStep. But TopStep X has a beautiful feature where you can limit the amount of trades you take per day, and you can lock out the account really easily. It's very user friendly, so I prefer TopStep X. Personally, but obviously you guys can use whatever you prefer. But I think TopStep X and TopStep and Apex are the best ones. Okay, so let's see if we get an order block here and a 3-minute inversion. That will be awesome. That is something I will execute on. Stop to break even here. But really, I would move my stop to break even at the 5-minute because we do have that 5-minute gap here that we should trade back up into. Yeah, I've seen TDR, he promotes it so much. Which one does he promote? Top Step or Apex? A lot of them have like discount codes and stuff, but I don't have any of those. Use somebody else's discount code, but definitely don't pay full price. There's like tons of oh, use this Apex. Bloody benchoed bars. Don't know what that means. But yeah. Apex runs a lot of 80 and 90% sales, so that's definitely something you guys can use. What is my friend messaging me here? Okay, guys, give me a second. I'll be right back, okay? My ex taught me that. Taught you what? The bars were sketching me out. Sir, switch 5 indicators. Which 5 indicators are you using? So the first one I'm using is macro times. This tells you basically when the hour is closing. Macro times are normally when the market moves, but you can use it. It's called Next Macros Kill Zones by Cognito. It's not really an indicator. It basically is highlighting the time of day. And then I use the ICT Everything by Cold Brew Roche. That marks the standard deviations of the day. So like, for example, today we have our standard deviations of the Asia range. It always just marks them out so you can see them. Like today we traded up to the 3rd standard deviation and now we're going lower. Or yeah, we came almost to the 3rd standard deviation and we're going lower. And then it marks the 4 to the low to the bottom. And then it also marks midnight and 8:30. All that is in one indicator. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What else do I have? New week opening gaps. So that just shows the new week opening gaps on the day. Let me see if it shows on the hourly here. It'll be easier to see. Of course, now it's lagging out. Yeah, so just those new week opening gaps by Kryptonite. That's one you can use. And that is pretty much it. Asia and London session, it shows that as well. So if you go to, it's called, I don't know how you find this one to be honest, but it just marks the London session so that you have it on your charts. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Where am I from? I was born in Los Angeles. And I still live here, but I'm debating. I might be moving to Texas or Florida. We'll see. Okay, so 3-minute is still not closed above. We did form an order block here on the 3, so I'd love to see this hold and this drive us up to this 5-minute and then higher. We will see what happens. Yeah, no taxes, better pricing. I want to do a lot more real estate investment there. My money through flipping properties in Los Angeles. I started with $0. First, I started with air conditioning units. Then I started with properties, and then I moved to investing and trading. So I still do real estate investment and flipping, but not as often as I used to. I am looking for a few properties in Los Angeles. If you guys know anyone in California who has a fixer-upper home that wants to sell it, let me know. I will be happy to buy one from them. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And then I invest all the money that I make into the markets, QQQ, S&P 500, Tesla, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, etc., etc. New exchange in Austin? What exchange? That's where the robo-taxis are starting. Very innovative city. I visited it 4 months ago. Very beautiful place. Not as nice as Los Angeles, I will admit, but I think it has a lot of opportunities to grow. And if you buy properties on the outskirts of Austin, I think those are going to go up heavily in value over time. The city's going to be gentrified. There's a lot of like rundown homes, and I think that those are all going to be bought up by investors. I've already seen when I drove through a lot of neighborhoods there, tons of new builds. Like people are just tearing down lots and building new properties in the bustling parts of the city. I've been to Dubai once actually, but just to the airport. I never actually went into the main heart of Dubai. Oh, I didn't even know that, Mitra. Texas Stock Exchange? Is that even a thing? Okay, so hopefully we get this 3-minute inversion here. Candle closes at 54. Let's see what we get. Come on, market gods, give us a nice inversion. Come on, market gods. Give us an inversion, please. So we got just under 3 minutes, 2 minutes until this candle closure. My guess is that they're just going to bring it up and move it above this high without giving an entry, but we will see. We will see. Do we have a bunch of perfect equal highs forming here too? Yeah, we have triple equal highs here on the 1 minute. So I will label these. Again, not financial advice, but these are going to hit later today, most likely. If not now. There we go. Oh, this is high time frame candle projections, and all it's showing is what the daily chart looks like. That's it. You don't really need this, but it's just giving you a visual representation of what the daily chart looks like. And normally, guys, if you should be longing on green days. So when the daily candle is green, we're far more likely to continue higher than we are to go back down. That's just the idea behind it. Okay, guys, 1 minute until the 3-minute close. Let's see if we get the long. Less than a minute. 10 seconds. I don't think they're going to give us the entry, unfortunately. Nope. So now I have to wait another 3 minutes. Can you say it again? The daily candle? Yeah, just the daily candle, high time frame candle projections. It just marks the candle on the daily chart. So if you look at the daily here, you can see what every candle represents a day. So it's just showing you that, but while I'm zoomed into the 1 minute chart. That's all. Make sense, guys? Also, now we're in a macro time, so I'd love to see this macro deliver us higher here. Love, love, love to see it. Okay, nice wick so far. Let's see if we get a pump through all of this. Again, we're waiting for a 3 minute closure. I hope you guys realize trading is really boring. Okay, you need to just basically 99% waiting, 1% execution. Okay, so nice pump there. Let's see if it holds. Excuse me. And we'll see if we get that 3 minute closure. Come on, market, pump us. No close above yet, guys. No close above yet. So lame. We've got how many minutes until this closes? So we got until 12 o'clock for the closure. So we'll see what happens. Okay, 1 second, guys. Sorry, my dog is coming in, but I can't let her on this. Hold on. Come on, Lou. Okay. How did you flip AC units initially? I graduated college with an accounting degree. Absolutely hated it. So basically, I had an AC unit in my fraternity house. And I put it on Facebook Marketplace when I was done with college, and I ended up being able to sell it for more than what I bought it for. So I was like, damn, what if I just like buy all the AC units in my frat house from all the dudes that are leaving for the year and see if I can make money with them. So I bought one from a friend after selling mine, ended up making more on that one than I did on the one that I initially had. I did it with everyone in the frat house, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just like go on Facebook Marketplace and find people that are selling them for cheap and then resell them, clean them up and resell them. I did that for like a year, and I made like 25 or 20 grand or something crazy. I can't remember exactly what it was, but for me, coming out of college, I was making more money than I was from my like paid internship and my accounting job. So I was like, let's just do it. So I kept flipping them, and then boom. I used that money to start pulling lists of properties in LA. Took me like over a year to end up finding a home that was worth flipping, and I had to build confidence in myself, like talking to people about buying their house from them when I had literally $20,000 to my name. And yeah, so I ended up finding a flip in Los Angeles. I partnered with some investors in the area. We flipped it together and we split the profits, and the rest is history. Nice, I'm in a similar position. That's good, bro. Keep it up. Okay, here's the market pushing again here. Again, if we get the 3 minute closure, that is going to be the entry for the trade. But until then, I'm not taking anything. Yeah, bro, it's a hot summer. You might as well find some. Go on Facebook Marketplace. They're all over the place there. Hmm. 2 hour inverse. There is an hourly inverse to the downside. I'm not a huge fan of that. But again, we're at all time highs. I think most bearish plays will fail. But I'm just waiting for this 3 minute gap, and that's the trade I'm going to be executing on. $12.03. So we got 1 minute till this closure. Let's see if we get the close above. Boomer 12. Yeah, I don't know about the 2 hour. I don't really use a 2 hour, but you guys can use whatever you want. Oh my goodness. And again, this is going to be my one trade left of the day. If this ends up working, amazing. If it doesn't, so be it. But to me, this is good enough. We had a liquidity sweep, another liquidity sweep, which is a manipulation, and then we get an inversion trade. So this is what I would need to execute. How long have we been streaming for? 2 hours and 11 minutes. Wow. 2 hours and 11 minutes with not a single A plus setup. Woo! Who else here? Well, I have taken a trade, but has anyone here sat on the charts without taking a single trade? If you have, props to you. I think that's such a good quality to have. I love, bro. Some of the names on YouTube, I love it. Boomer12. Boomer12. Can you explain to me where that name came from? Dude, AMD is up to 143. That's wild. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised. I have a feeling this is going to continue to reject and sweep these lows. What is this level here? This is the previous highs on NQ. Oh, da, 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 na, 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 na. So we really what I wanted to see was us deliver this 3 minute inversion in the macro time. We're coming towards the end of it. I wouldn't really even suggest trading this at this point, but if we get it, I'll still take the trade. But I'm gonna have to size down now that we're outside of the macro time, or we will be outside of the macro time most likely. And it's past 11, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I'll still take it. But I'll have to size down. I'm already sizing down because of Powell testifying today, but nothing until we get a setup. So lame. Have you ever considered withdrawing all your cash and flexing it by holding on your head on stream? Bro, you don't need to do that. Just go on Amazon and buy fake money. All these rappers you see with the phones on their thing and the it's all fake money. Some of them maybe it's real if they're really stupid, but for the most people it's actually fake. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be a failure. See if we end up sweeping low of day. And almost. Not quite low of day sweep. Identical lows. Perfect equal lows at 22393. The Asia session lows. Yes, these are perfect equal lows. There's two sets actually. There's one set here and one set here. So these are something we can mark on the chart. Oops. I'll label them in red because they are equal lows, not equal highs. But yeah, good spot, Mitra. Those are definitely important. I don't know if they're going to hit today or not, but never had anything marked on the chart before. Uh, very interesting. Are we getting an SMT here with ES? No SMT. Oh, wow. What a day, guys. So there is a little 1 minute inversion taking place here. Am I going to be taking this? No. But maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. I need to see the 3 minute close above to take a long. Wow, this price action is so bad. Oh, my goodness. Just praying that we get a 3-minute inversion. If we can get this closure above, this is going to be my one long of the day, and I'll be done. I'll get off stream. We'll enjoy our day. It's already 9 o'clock my time. I really was hoping to see an SMT at the lows here, but we did not get one. Let's just take a look at the Mag 7 quick. Tesla's still down 4.5%. Quickly look at the rest of the market. Oatly, the most garbage stock in existence, trading poorly today. What a surprise. Bro, most of the time I'm up at 5. Coffee, shower, journaling, whatever. Not journaling every day, but... Oh my goodness, guys. What a terrible day. Okay, so I really wouldn't be surprised if this sweeps low day here. Seems very likely to me. And then from there, maybe we get a long setup. We will see. Daily routine. Normally it's just wake up, shower, coffee, and then I'll just look at the markets, see what's performing, how the futures market is doing. And yeah, I go to the gym almost every single day, sauna or steam room, whichever one. What do you guys do on a daily basis? What's your morning routine like? I don't do a bunch of extra shit in the morning. I just wake up, coffee, and normally I just start working, but just depends. Wake up, lose a trade, drugs. Let's go. That's so funny. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, that's so funny, bro. That's honestly, realistically, the schedule of most unemployed guys. Bruh, can this 3-minute just close above? Please. We can just get on with our day. Wouldn't that be nice? We have a lot of low resistance liquidity building up here. So if we can get a sweep below this and then a nice inversion, that can also be a consideration. But we will see. Okay. There's the low of day. Now let's see if we can get some beautiful setup from here. We have those equal lows down there, so maybe that's the draw. But again, guys, I'm not going to execute until something A+ happens. And it's very interesting. Normally, short setups do not work. Normally, short setups don't work after we sweep all-time highs. Today was an exception. We created a huge wick on the daily, which is interesting, but I don't think this means anything. I think that this is going to continue higher. It's just a matter of when, and we will wait for an execution. We have two nice bearish fair value gaps here that could inverse. We'll see how that plays out. If we can sweep all these equal lows and then get along, that would be beautiful too. Man, guys, I think I'm over it today. This is not doing what I wanted it to do. We're outside of the macro time. Maybe I'll come back for the afternoon session. I'll see. But if not, maybe I'll go live in the Discord. We'll see how many people actually want to go live. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here, and I will catch you in the Discord. If I see anything, I'll call it in the live alert section. Again, that's not an excuse for you to take the trade, but it's for educational purposes only. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. Peace.